Hi everyone and welcome, my name is Dora and this is my intro to my eyeshadow declutter project pan. Yes! I've been talking about this so much, I have been thinking about this so much, and I think it's finally time for me to start this new project to help me to declutter my eyeshadow palette collection. It's really hard for me to let go of eyeshadows specifically because I enjoy them so much. I enjoy looking at them so much. But it's come to a point now where for the longest time I've wanted for all of my makeup to fit into 2 drawers, and I've done a no-buy for over 2 years now. I've really panned my way through my collection. The biggest category is still definitely eyeshadow. I know I can't pan my collection to the sort of amount of volume that I would like to have. I'll give you the number straight away. I've got 46 eyeshadow palettes and they're currently occupying one of those 2 makeup drawers. And there used to be another set of drawers that I had in my wardrobe, which now I've been able to get rid of, and they're now in a backup makeup bag that eventually I would like to just, yeah, I would just like to have everything in 2 drawers basically. I don't know, there's no nice or quick and concise way of saying it. I would just like to have less, but I'm struggling to let go of it. So yeah, why not put everything into a project? And actually the numbers are working out really well. It just sort of seems to perfectly slot into 2025 and I love that. There's 9 months left of the year, kind of, so not counting my current palette, which I'm still going to continue with. There are 45 palettes that I would like to consider for this project, potential declutterings. Divide that by 9, I end up with a really nice rounded figure of 5 palettes to work on every month. So this is the plan. I'm going to talk you through some of the details a little bit. I've written them down here. I'm trying to use all of my palettes for the rest of 2025 to determine which of them I'd like to continue to use, which of them do I want to keep, and which of them do I want to let go. So this project runs for 9 months. It starts on the 5th of April, the day after my 30-day makeup challenge ends, and it finishes on the 31st of December of this year. I'm going to give myself the option to possibly change that up. Who knows? If I get really bored or impatient, I might just learn how to declutter things faster and do it really quickly, and then I might sort of come back to all of the other eyeshadow projects that I've been doing, stop this one, do a finale for this before December, who knows. I'm on a no-buy for buying eyeshadow palettes right now, obviously, singles as well, so no-buy for all eyeshadow right now. 5 palettes to work on every month. And at the end of each month, I'm going to determine which 2 palettes am I going to put on the chopping block. In the finale, I'm going to revisit these 18 palettes, and I'm giving myself the option to save up to, but no more than 10 palettes from the chopping block, and to then declutter the rest. As I already said, my goal is to have less. I would like all of my makeup, including my eyeshadow palettes, to fit into these 2 drawers. And bear in mind, one of those 2 drawers is my everyday makeup drawer. I also really want to get to know my collection because I can't say that I do know it right now. I've been hyper-focusing on hitting pan on eyeshadows, you know, doing the odd no pan left behind here and there when it's in a project, but really I don't venture out of what is currently in eyeshadow projects or in other project pans in terms of the eyeshadows that I use. The last time I did that was Christmas Day, just because I really told myself, you know, just enjoy a bit of freedom, do what you want. It's just not how I work. So I figured that if I do this project and I then have the freedom to choose whatever I want from these 5 that I have pre-selected for that month, that will actually get me to enjoy and get to know every single palette in my collection. I also don't want to force myself to use eyeshadow every day anymore. I kind of want to see what am I naturally gravitating towards. How many times do I want to apply my makeup? currently I apply eyeshadow every day. If I miss a day, I'll do 2 looks the following day because I'm a panner and I want to hit my goals. So it's just the way it's been. I did consider doing no pan left behind on all of my palettes, but I don't want to restrict myself or force myself to use every single shadow that is in my collection. I think with that, I would then also only use every shadow once and maybe not dip back into it, where I just want to, yeah, like learn how am I organically using my eyeshadow palettes in my collection. It's literally just use these 5 palettes in whichever way I want, still work on my palette, and then determine which 2 palettes am I going to put on the chopping block. And then at the end, like I said, which of these palettes am I going to rescue from the chopping block and they're going to go back into my collection. It's probably at that point going to also have to do with what actually physically fits into my drawer, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Before I show you what I've selected for April, I just want to give you an update on what I'm thinking in terms of my other eyeshadow projects. So I'm going to continue with my Pan That palette. I've already said this so many times. Yeah, I would like to complete that hopefully by the end of the year. Well, actually, I'm probably not going to work on it past the 31st of 2025, 31st of December this year. I'm hoping I may be able to do it sooner than that, who knows. But yeah, I'm going to continue with that so that palette doesn't even get thrown into the pool of my eyeshadow declutter project pan. The idea is that I'm going to be done with it anyway, so an empty palette, yeah, of course I'm going to declutter that. So this year, as part of Pan That palette, I'm also doing BYOP. So this is a project that has been created by Jessica and Dana. I'm going to link everyone down below who I've mentioned, all of the creators of the various eyeshadow projects that I'm doing right now. And this is a palette that this year I've got 5 shadows in there. 2 of them are complexion products, so that's completely separate to this because they're not eyeshadows. I mean, one of them is, but I'm not using it as an eyeshadow. I use it as a blush. All right. And then it just happens, again, another perfect number. I have 27 single eyeshadows. They're all Franken, and I would like to determine by using 3 a month, 3 different ones every month, which of them am I going to keep and which of them am I going to let go or maybe refranken. I will be doing that over in PTP and BYOP. As for Project Level Up and Pan That Palette in Order, again, I've combined these 2 projects together this year. I am pausing Project Level Up with a very heavy heart because it is such a fun project. I still enjoy it. I still enjoy watching it, but it's just too much on my plate right now. I can't be doing Project Level Up because it always takes me more than 1 month to complete one level. I mean, I'm on level 2 right now, you know, and quarter 1 is done. Pan That palette in Order, I'm going to continue with because, and I'll show you the palette, although I won't open it. I'm working on my ABH Riviera palette alongside Ravneet. We are collaborating, although she's doing a different ABH palette. I got this one from Ruth, who is also linked down below because, spoiler, there's a couple more palettes for my April selection that are also from Ruth in this project. The idea is that I will get to Riviera maybe in December, maybe already in November. It depends when I'm going to be done with Pan That palette in Order, which means, you know, if you don't know this project, I'm trying to hit a pan in order. So I think, how many have I got left now? Little update, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I still have 7 more pans here to hit. If I can do that, hopefully November, December, then this will be one of my 5 palettes for this project, for my eyeshadow declutter project pan, because I'm just so curious and I'd like to know, once I've hit pan and everything and continue to use it and expand the pans, where do I have rust? And then I would declutter those rusty pans. And then my 3rd or 5th and 6th eyeshadow project that I've been doing up until this point, that's pan those eyeshadows and expand those pans. I am going to pause pan those eyeshadows. I just don't think I can realistically try and hit pan in something and again work on a palette for more than a month, or try to, you know, hit all the pans within a month. That's a lot of pressure, and that takes a lot of valuable lid space away from where I could be using whatever I feel like from this selection. Yeah, so I'm gonna pause that again with a very heavy heart, but who knows, if I get really, if I miss it so much, I might just introduce it back in carefully. Maybe not until I finish my pan that palette, who knows. With expand those pans, I think it'd be fun to continue with that, because it, you know, it can be such a low usage goal. Mainly I've been doing 5 uses on a shadow, because especially if you've recently hit pan, then the first 5 uses after you've hit pan are so satisfying in terms of the pan expansion. So I think it would be fun to continue with expand those pans and select maybe 3 shadows from my monthly selection of my eyeshadow declutter project pan palettes, and maybe randomize them or select them myself. You know, 3 shadows to use 5 times each, super doable. So I will continue with that. I'm gonna show you some palettes now. The first palette that I've chosen to put into April is the I Heart Revolution Tasty Pineapple palette. I think that's a really nice color story for spring. You know, there's lots of vibrant shades here, lots of pastels, really fun color story. Sticking with the same brand-ish, so this is Makeup Revolution Kombucha Kiss. If you're not new here, you know this palette so well. This was my pan that palette for 2023 and 2024. And I'm still not done. There are 10 shadows left here. There's a tiny bit left here in Energy. This is a Franken shadow. So Franken, and the rest of them are the original matte shadows. These next 2 palettes I got from Ruth, and they're both by Beauty Bay. There is the New Mood palette here. And I've only used 1 shadow so far. Like, come on. And it's this one here, Creative, so that green shimmer. I've used this one, but I haven't even swatched, I don't think, any of the others. It's a beautiful palette, and I would just like to use it. And then the other one is the Wilderness palette, so famous. And I have used everything because it was my level 2 palette. But, you know, it has been a while actually, and again I think it'd be fun to see what am I actually drawn towards. And my final and 5th palette is a palette that I have had like on holiday, so I have dipped into it in a more organic capacity. But yeah, here we go. You know, they're all gonna have to feature at some point. So yeah, this is the Ellen Tracy, the Naked Eye collection. There are 14 shadows in here, it's massive. It's a really pretty palette actually. So yeah, the last time I would have dipped into this in a natural way without it being in a project would have been last summer. June, I believe, yeah. So, you know, almost a year ago. Whew. You may have noticed a theme, especially if you're familiar with my content. Okay, so every single one of these 5 palettes are palettes that are still currently in eyeshadow projects. They are in projects that I'm going to pause, mainly. A couple of them are in expand those pans. So consider April, and it's also a shorter month for me because I'm starting on the 5th rather than on the 1st. I'm considering this my transition month, my weaning month. I did initially think I'd start this project on the 1st of May and then end it on the 31st of January, but then I thought, why wait? You know, doing this 30-day makeup challenge has sort of, yeah, I've been thinking about this long and hard for a long time now. It just really opened my eyes to thinking, like, why should I wait? Like, why not do it immediately as soon as I'm done with this challenge? And then it actually also works out that I'm going to be done with this project by the end of December. So yeah, it's my weaning month, you know, trying to wean myself off using eyeshadows that are in projects and learning to transition back into using shadows organically. This is the way I used to wear eyeshadows before I became a panner. Before, actually in my first year, I didn't even do any eyeshadow projects, to be honest, when I was still only on Instagram. And the way I was using eyeshadows was very intuitively. I'd sort of be going, you know, dipping into colors and textures according to my mood. Also linking it to like the planetary days or whatever I was into and thinking about that day that sort of matched my outfit or whatever, you know, the season. Instead of thinking, oh, what is in projects? What do I need to work on? And I think a huge reason why I have put so many eyeshadow projects on my plate is because I wanted a big pool of shadows to choose from, because it's just how I roll, you know. If something's in a project, then I only want to use that instead of something that isn't in a project. So if I increase the amount of shadows that are in projects, then I do have more variety. But yeah, something's, you know, gotta change right now. So this is what I'm doing. So yeah, April is still gonna be a bit of a crazy month in that sense, but from May onwards, there won't be palettes in projects anymore, because the only palettes in projects are going to be these two. I've got 26 days to work on these 5 palettes and then determine which of these 2 am I going to put on the chopping block. Leave me a comment and let me know which 2 palettes you think I will be letting go. I mean, who knows? I literally couldn't tell you. I think it's useful for me to only put them on the chopping block rather than saying, all right, I'm actually decluttering 2 each month, because it makes it less scary when I'm saying I might be able to save them later on, you know. Yeah. Super excited about this. I mean, yeah, this month is a bit, you know, interesting because these are palettes that are already in projects anyways, but May is going to be so cool and I'm so excited for it. It's my birthday month and I only really want to pick palettes that really excite me and that I'm really excited about using. I can think of one already specifically that I've just been waiting to use for a long time now. But yeah, anyway, I won't say any more than that. Okay, thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I really appreciate you. Thank you for cheering me on, for supporting me. If you're interested to hear more about my 30-day makeup challenge, I'm going to link my playlist in the cards at the end. You know, yeah, there's a lot of insights I've been getting in that 30-day period, not only with regards to eyeshadows, yeah, even if that's one of the reasons why I put myself on that challenge in the first place. But yeah, I'm ready to try everything out, to get to know my collection. I'm so excited about it. And thank you for being here. So I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care, bye.